Well, hi my friends. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And I wanted to come back on and do a little quick pop-up with the answer to the question, should I finish it or just forget it? So, with your help, you voted overwhelmingly, Jay, finish it. I was so encouraged that I just could not, would not, should not let you down. So I wanted to come back and share with you what I took a throwaway bunch of yarn or something unfinished, and I wanted to show you what I was able to come up with. Well, first of all, back in December, on one of my videos, somewhere around Christmas, I was wearing a red scarf, and I called it, oh, this is my, I think it's called my little pocket scarf. It's just a little way, and it has a little slit, a little place for me to stick my hands in, because I'm not really a coat or gloves wearing person, unless it's just real cold, you know. But as the weather changes and I need to run out somewhere, it's just nice to have a place to put your hands. Well, once I got started, this was just too much, it was too wide to be really a scarf. So I'm going to call this is what I was able to come up with your suggestions and my ideas. We put them together. This is Jay's Crochet, a lace pocket wrap. Jay's Crochet, a lace pocket wrap. And the whole idea is I was able to keep it more like a wrap. I didn't want to say shawl because, like I said, it really has a purpose, you know, more than just on your shoulders. It has, I continue to crochet up on the piece that that I found in the bag. So I still have a nice collar if I wanted to. See, I still have a real pretty collar with a pretty edge. And I simply roll that collar back, just like this. And as I rolled it back, as I went down towards the bottom, I added some buttons. So I get to use the buttons from my button stash. Oh, I have some beautiful buttons. I just forget to use them a lot of times. So I've used those to keep it in place. But look, it makes a nice little pocket. The bottom is closed up by adding the fringe. See, the fringe closes up the bottom of the pocket. So I don't have to sew. No sewing. Except for the button. And then it gives me a nice place, a nice warm place to put my hands on a cool day, or just if I'm out and about, because the weather will change. I know it's hot now, but people, you know the weather will change. And we will get some cool weather. Isn't that nice? And this just looks beautiful. I think just perfect for the fall, or most of you know it as autumn. So I thought, you know what? This is what I think I will not only share with my friends to let you know how much I appreciate you voting and giving me all the inspiration and encouraging me to just go ahead and finish it and just, take your ideas and run with it. But also, I went ahead and made a tutorial. So I have a tutorial. Once we go to the counter, I'm going to take you step by step so that you too can go ahead and, it's only 2 rows, 2 simple rows, and we've done it on something, but I don't remember. I have so many tutorials, I can't keep track of all of them. So, but it's easy enough that once we start, you will, oh, Jay, I remember that. Oh, yeah, or this is an easy little, take it to work, take it with you, work on it anywhere you feel like it. I think you're going to really like this. And it really has a purpose. You wait and see. Like I say, you take it to work, stick it in your drawer. When it gets cool or that air conditioner blowing on the back of your neck, this is just what you need. You can still do your work, but yet, if you need to run outside at lunch or go somewhere in your car, you have a nice little place, a nice hand warmer. So, I hope you give this a try because, like I said, you inspired me. you voted, you said definitely keep it. Go ahead and here's some ideas, and I took the ideas and ran with it. So now I want you to give it a try. I want you to just send me plenty of pictures. I want you to do it in all different colors. Tell me your ideas. Put your own touch or your own spin on it. I hope you have some pretty buttons that you can find to put on yours too. And of course the fringe. Now I'm going to take you to the counter step by step, and of course I'm going to give you tips as I was working on it, little things that will help you that I maybe need to bring to your attention to make sure, so that you can have good results too. Well, what do you think of it? I'm so glad. I'm so glad for you taking the time to just vote and tell me. I probably would have just pulled this out and let it go. So thank you, my friends. And now, just for you, this is Jay's tutorial, Jay's Crochet Lace Hand Wrap. Just for my friends. So, let's get started. Alright, so what'd you think of Jay's finished Project A? Everyone said Jay finished that. It was just too simple and too cute to just undo all that work. So I did, and I'm thank you for voting. Everyone liked it, so I hope you liked the finished piece. And as you can see, this is before I finished it. I thought, you know what? I think I will just go ahead and do a tutorial as I finish it. So in case you might want to try this simple little stitch, it's just one we've done before. I didn't even bother to look it up again because I just simply read my own work, the stitches. And of course, I've changed the stitch to fit into my formula. I work kind of from a one-line formula, and usually I add borders and things just to enhance it and make it look nice. So, what do you think? You want to give this a try? This is kind of a no-brainer type crocheting, where you can just watch a movie or listen to one of your audiobooks or take it back and forth to work and work on it on your lunch hour. That's just how easy and simple. And you saw me wearing it. And like I said, it's just one of those little things you can keep in your desk drawer. It's not something that you got to worry about. It's expensive or someone's going to run off with it. It's just in your desk drawer. You can take it out when that air conditioner is blowing, even though, you hope that you try to move your chair around so it won't blow right on the back of your neck. This is perfect. Now, as you can see from the one that I'm wearing, I increased till, and you can just keep working it as long or for the width that you want, 16, 18, make it a simple number. However many inches wide you want your shawl. Now, if you like to do one, let me just tell you, I work from just, instead of how many chains, I work from how many of these repeats. So let me go over real quick how to figure out how many chains. Here's my little friend, my little mannequin friend. I'm just going to lay her down here so I don't have to change the camera. And all you have to do is just start making a chain. Now I had in my stash some of this leftover Hobby Lobby Soft Secret. And it was just perfect for this simple little shawl. But now you can use anything that you like. You can use, if you want a nice drapey shawl, of course, use nice lightweight yarn. And like I say, you just have a skein, one big full skein or a couple of, medium-sized skeins. You can get this whole shawl out of there. So the first thing you want to do is I'm using an eye hook. You could use a J if you want it to be if you want the fabric to be a lot looser and drapier. So I made a chain with my eye hook, and I started, and she didn't have her knees, but we're pretending. I started making a chain, and I just chained from one knee all the way up my body, around the back of my neck. I hope this is on camera. Back of my neck, right? And then all the way down to my opposite knee. and you could go a couple of inches more, you know, a few 5 or 6 inches, because this stitch will eat up a lot of yarn. So if you want a long chain, don't be afraid. From one knee up and around, down, and go another foot or two, another 12 inches or so, just to make sure you have enough. Does that make sense? And that's how simple it is to do this shawl. We are going to crochet it horizontal. So that's how I measure from one knee to the other. I need to call this my knee shawl, shouldn't I? But as you can see, I'll just pull it along before we get started, and you can see how long. And if I had added, like I said, even more, it would have been longer. But that's pretty good for me. I'm short. But if you're tall, because any change, once we start working, you can measure it up to your body, and you can stop it anywhere along the chain you want. So that makes it easy. We're not counting chains. We're simply going to work by the number of repeats. Look at that. Look how much look at that. Isn't that nice? Now you see I just roll that up, put that in my drawer at the office, and when I need it, it will be there. Alright, let me get some practice yarn, and I'm going to show you this simple stitch. One that we already know. Once I start, you're going to go, oh yeah, Jay, that's real simple. That's good. But we need some simple things sometimes. Alright, be back in just a minute. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get started. Remember, this is Project A. And I think it'll just be, I think you'll really enjoy this simple little offset shell stitch. So I've already made a practice chain, or my sample chain, just a little long, just longer than what I'm going to make my sample. You have your chain. I've gone over how to since I work from how many repeats and not chains. You just want a long chain. Alright, so in the 4th chain from the hook, so I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3. In the 4th chain from the hook, I'm going to do a double crochet. Just like that. Then I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And now I want you to skip 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. In the next chain, I'm going to add 1 single crochet. Then I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now before I go any further, I'm going to hold right there, see how that looks on camera. Make sure I'm not in a shadow. I don't know if I'm in a shadow or not. Let's see. Okay. So I chain 3. Now, in that same chain, I want to add 3 double crochets. That's 1, that's 2, and 3. So this is what we have so far. And like I say, sometimes I just have to change. I have to add things. I like little borders, and that's just the way that I just taught myself to to work a stitch, work a pattern. Alright, after 3 double crochets, I want you to skip 3 chains on the bottom, but do not chain any at the top. So skip 1, 2, 3. In the next chain, I want you to put a V-stitch. That's going to be 1 double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet. Alright, now on this side of the V-stitch, I need for you to chain 3 on this side. 1, 2, 3. There was no chain on this side, but on this side, chain 3. Now skip 3 on the bottom. Let me turn it, so 1, 2, 3. And in the next chain, I need a single crochet. Now chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I need 3 double crochets in that same chain. Let's go. That's 1. See it? 2, and 3. There we go. Alright, so no chain at the top, but I skip 3 chains on the bottom. After I do the 3 double crochet, skip 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I need a double crochet or the start of the V-stitch. 1 double crochet, chain 1, and then a second double crochet stitch in the same chain. Alright, now I chain 3 on this side. 1, 2, 3, and I skip 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, and then I do a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now 3 double crochets in that same chain. 1, 2, 1 more, and 3. Alright, skip 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, but no chains at the top. I'm going to do the V-stitch in the next chain. So 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet. Now in the original, when I took the original stitch, she had different number of chains and different. Well, see, I just even things out when I can, or when it's appropriate. So I made everything in 3s. 3 double crochets, skip 3 chains. Can you see that? It works easy. It's just easy for me to do that, and then that way I can remember, and it's just great to do that. So now chain 3, 1, 2, 3 after the V-stitch, skip 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. In the next chain, give me a single crochet. Now chain 3. See how easy it flows for me if I make them. Now sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, and maybe it won't work, but this one worked just great. Alright, now in that same chain, give me 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, this is what we have so far. Alright, now of course you have a long chain, and you're going to go toward get near the end of the chain, but I would stop and count. You remember, I like to have odd repeats, because that way you'll always have a center point. So let me just see, I have on this sample 1, 2, 3, 4, so I'm going to go 1 more. Alright, so on this side, no chains at the top, but skip 1, 2, 3. Alright, then I double crochet to start the V-stitch, chain 1, and then a second double crochet. Alright, now chain 1, 2, 3, skip 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Now give me a single crochet. Okay, now 1, 2, 3, I chain 3, and then 3 double crochets in the same chain. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now I have 1. I'm just counting these. I'm finding a place to count, so I'm going to count these little shells. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you're going to complete to go across your chain, and as you see yourself getting near the end of the chain, stop and count, and go 1 more to make it odd, or pull back 1 to make it an odd number, so that you will have a center. See, 1, 2, 1, 2. Here's my center. All right, so I'm going to stop on this. On my sample. Now how do I stop? Alright, normally we read this, we make a duplicate of this end, but for this stitch I had to do something a little different. Alright, so after I do the 3 double crochets, and now I want to stop. This is where you want to stop. You want to stop at the 3 double crochets. Finish those. Chain, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, but no chains at the top. Skip, but skip 3 on the bottom, 1, 2, 3, and then do 2 double crochets in the next chain, just like that. This is one of those where the ends will switch back and forth. Switch, you'll see as we go. And this is the front side. This is row 1. I guess I could put out my little, even though I don't want to confuse you with all these little symbols. You know, if I put out too many symbols, let's see, where's my row 1, my little row thing. But this is row 1, but it's also project A. I think we know it's project A now, so I'll put that up there. This is row 1, and it is the right side. Now, I chain, after I'm stopping all this is just leftover chain. That's what you want. You don't have to have much as long as you have some. That means you didn't have to pull back and add more chains or redo it. So you stop wherever you want to, as long it's 3 double crochets, skip 3, and then the 2 double crochets in the next chain. Now, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn the work. All right, and as soon as we turn the work, well, that was real quick, wasn't it? As soon as we turn the work, we're on the wrong side, and that's this will be row 2. All right, now, in the first double crochet right here, not in the second, but in the very first one, after you chain 3 and turn, give me a double crochet right there. Now, I need you to chain 3 on the wrong side. Row 2, we start with chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now go over to this space right here between the 3 double crochets and the chain 3. You see it right there. See that space? Alright, I want you to single crochet into the space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're simply going to add 3 more double crochets in that space. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Now it's coming back to you. I can't remember what project we use offset shells on, but I'm sure it's one of my, after a while, I got so many projects up, so many tutorials, I can't remember now, but it's somewhere. Alright, so now I need to get over to the V-stitch. Well, I don't have to add any chains or anything. I just reach over, go into the center of the V-stitch, and stack another double crochet, chain 1, double crochet on top of that V-stitch. Right there. Can you see it? Alright, now on this side, I do chain 3. 1, 2, 3, because I need to get all the way over to this space right there between the 3 double crochets and the chain 3. That's the space I want. So I have to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me pull it back and make sure I got 3. Didn't look like I had 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I go to this space and I single crochet into that space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now 3 double crochets into the same space. That's 1, that's 2, and 3. There. Okay, let's go. Of course, now you have a long chain. But it's a fun stitch. It's not hard. Alright, I don't have to chain anything. I just simply go to that V-stitch right there. Double crochet, chain 1, and then another double crochet. Now, chain 3 to get up to this space. Remember, the space is right there. So I have to chain 1, 2, 3, and then single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now add 3 double crochets right here in that same space, right there. So that's 1, oops, think I missed one here. There's one right there. Now here's two. It is very humid tonight. Here's three. Let me get some yarn. Now, to get to the V-stitch, I simply just double crochet, chain one, and double crochet. We're working the back side of this 2-row repeat. Now, to get up to this space right here, there's a big space right there, I have to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I go over and single crochet, chain 1, 2, 3, put 3 double crochets into that same space. 1, 2, and 3. Oops. Okay, there's the 3 double crochets in that same space. I look ahead. What's next is a V-stitch, so I simply double crochet, chain 1, and then another double crochet. Alright, what's next? Look ahead. V-stitch stacked on top of V-stitches, just like that, going across. That one stretched out a little shape a little bit, but it's there. Alright, I have to chain 3 to get to this space here. So 1, 2, 3, single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now 3 double crochets in this large space. 1, 2, and 3. 3 double crochets. Now looking ahead, what do I see? Alright, I need to just simply, no chains or anything, but I skip this first double crochet right there. I skip over and I go all the way to the chain, to this one right here on the end, see? So I just skip that. Give me a double crochet into the chain, just like this, 1 double crochet, then a second double crochet. So 2 double crochets into that chain, or into the post. Alright, now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, I turn the work, and when I turn the work, I'm on the front, and I'm back to row 1. Now I look, remember I said that the beginning and the end alternate. I started with a chain 3 space, but on the next row there is no chain space. I didn't have to chain. Now on this one, I do a double crochet into the first double crochet. So on row 1, that is where I chain 1, 2, 3 to get up to this space right here. I do a single crochet there, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now add 3 double crochets. 1, get some yarn, 2, and 3. That makes sense. And you'll have a nice straight edge. Now I need to simply go over, look ahead. It's the V-stitch. They're stacked on top. I don't have to chain anything. I simply do a double crochet, chain 1, and then another double crochet. But to get to the next large space here, on this side I have to chain 1, 2, 3, single crochet, chain 1, can't seem to get my yarn going here, 1, 2, 3, I chain 3, and 3 double crochets in that same space. Okay. Now you can see what we have. Alright, to get to the V-stitch, double crochet, chain 1, oops, and then another double crochet. I need to get to the next large space, chain 1, 2, 3, single crochet, okay, now chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3 at the top, and then 3 double crochets. See, isn't that pretty? This is the front side. Alright, let's see. V-stitch. And you're just going to continue on your long chain, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now, chain 3, 1, 2, 3 to get up to this space, single crochet. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochets. And it's flowing so good because I changed some of the numbers or some of the chains so that everything is more uniform. You know, everything is built on the number 3. Alright, so a double crochet here. Let me go to the end since I'm this far. Chain 1 and another double crochet. Now chain 1, 2, 2, 3. Oops. Alright, go to the top here where you have this large hole or space there. Single crochet, chain 1, 2, 3. Now 3 double crochets into that same space. 1, 2, and 3. I just want to get to the end again so you can see. Alright, on this end you can definitely tell that there's a chain 3 space right there. You can see how large it is. Well, you're going to do just the opposite. Remember, on this end, we don't have to chain 3 because we just finished the 3 double crochets. You simply go all the way to the post and do 2 double crochets. 1, 2. See? It's just the opposite. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We turn the work. Now you're on the wrong side, which is row 2. And this time, in order to get to that space there, first we do our double crochet in the very first one. Then we chain 1, 2, 3, doing just the opposite from the row before. Now I go to that space, single crochet, chain 1, 2, 3, then 3 double crochets. So I've worked through a couple of rows so that you can see, like I said, it's just 2 rows, alternating the ends of each row. So now this is the wrong, row 2 is the wrong side, row 1 is the right side. But there is the simple stitch, and like I say, you have a long chain and you can make it the width to, you know, what you like on your, you know, just try it on. Put it on your body, see how it fits. Alright, the next step is, of course, alright, I'll come back and show you, because all I did was add fringe. You know, I was trying to make it simple, but I thought, you know what? You might enjoy this little tutorial and give this one a try too. So I will see you just a little bit. I'll give you time to work, and then we'll come back and add fringe to the original one. Isn't that pretty? That's a nice color too, isn't it? Well, this is Project A. I'm so glad you talked me into finishing it. back shortly. Alright, I am back. I have worked off camera, so now I am back to show you how much I have gotten done and to see what you think of my idea. Once I got started, you know, then things start clicking. You start thinking, well, what if? Well, what if I do this? Or what if I do that? So I'm back with Project A. This is the one you voted for me, whether I should finish it or just forget it. So I am so thrilled that you told me, you voted for me to finish it. Now let me show you how I finished it. Alright, so project was this simple rectangle-like shawl. I had started it some time ago. I don't know. I was going somewhere, going to do something. I have no idea. See if I'm on camera. Yeah, that's good. And so it was just a nice rectangle with a simple 2-row stitch that I've already shared with you. And I just thought, well, you know, I put so much work into it. So they said, finish it, Jay. So once I finished, okay, my idea was to put fringe along these short edges and then all along the bottom edge. So I haven't done this short edge, I've done the other one, but I want to show you the fringe on this bottom edge all the way across. Now, tip number 1, I'll try to go ahead and give you the tips as I go. Tip number 1, when you put the fringe on, especially when you're using this, you know, number 4 acrylic, not really heavy, you know, it's our normal weight, number 4, that's usually what I work in. Make sure your fringe, that you don't put too many strands. Don't make it a heavy fringe. Let me pull in just a little bit. Don't make it a heavy fringe. I did 4 strands. Just 4 strands. And then by the time you put it through and double it, then it's like 8 little strands. Can you see that? So this is just, remember this was leftover. I had a leftover skein of Hobby Lobby's Soft Secret, which is like, you know, a regular Karen Simply Soft, or oh, there's just so many of our just regular number 4s that you can use. Even Premier number 4 would be beautiful, would drape really nice. So anyway, so here's my long, oops, let me get all the fringe. Here's my long rectangle shawl with fringe. Then as I finished, oh, that was tip number 1. Don't put so many, don't make your fringe really thick. Make it very thin, and so that it's nice and loose and that it flows with the shawl. Okay, tip number 2. If you see that you're running out of yarn and you've got to play yarn chicken, stop as you're crocheting, and maybe you want to crochet some more rows. Stop the rows for a minute. Just, you know how we do in crochet, whack out the yarn if you're playing a little yarn chicken, and go ahead and do the fringe across the very bottom. Just go ahead and start cutting fringe. And here's my fringe, here's my leftover fringe. See, I'd rather have some left over. So, but I made sure, because I can stop the back at any length I need to, because what I'm about to show you changes the whole dynamic. So here was my fringe, so I stopped working rows after I saw that I was going to run out of yarn. I stopped and did all my fringe across the bottom. That's tip number 2. All right, now once I got to got all the fringe, you remember back at Christmas, I believe it was Christmas, and I was wearing a red scarf, and I said, oh, I think y'all might like this scarf. I call it my pocket scarves, and I used to make them, I don't know, because I'm bad about losing gloves or forgetting to take my glove, or just if the weather's not cold enough for gloves and you look silly with some gloves on, maybe you just need somewhere to stick your hands. I wear a lot of sweatpants, sweat outfits, you know, so they don't have pockets like you that maybe have jeans. So I started making pocket scarves. So when I got to this end, when I got to one end, I want to show you, because I've saved one end so I can do it on camera. So now let me move this up. I've got to move all of this around, maybe move this around and not move the camera. So now let's see where I am. Oh, that's good. That looks good. Okay, now look. So once I finish the scarf and I've got fringe, you can see the fringe here. My pocket scarves, before I put the fringe on this bottom edge, see that? before I put the fringe on this short edge, I'll put it up a little more. Alright, I take the scarf, the neck section, and I turn it back on, just turn it back, fold it back like that. And I mean a good 5 or 6 inches. It just depends, you know, how wide the whole scarf is, you know, in the, you know, at the start. So you fold it back, and then I add the fringe to this section here. I add some fringe. I kept the same 4 strands of fringe, and I just nicely spaced them. But now when I get to the part that I have folded back, I go through the top section, this section, and the bottom, and I put the fringe so that it's like sewing up, or it shuts or closes up the bottom. Does that make sense? Let me just put it on here, see if you can see it on camera. I fold the neck edge back, because here's the back, here's the, you know, where the fringe is, and then I connect these two, or close this bottom edge up by connecting the fringe to the front and the back piece of this pocket scarf. So it creates a little pocket. Now on this one, a lot of times I will go ahead, just for fun, I've added some buttons. I found some buttons in my stash. I thought those are cute. They're lightweight. And I took the buttons and I actually put the button to the back section. I just kind of fold this over to see where it's going to fall, and then I sewed the button with some of the yarn, some of this, some of the strands of fringe I had. I sewed it to the back section, and then this can, remember there's a little loop here already in the lace, and I can just loop over that button just to hold it in place, because this is what forms the pocket. Now when you're wearing it, here is the pocket, or the hand warmer, or the hand cozy. You see the pocket there? My hand goes in right there. As I'm wearing this around my neck, my hand is in the pocket. So what do you think of that? All I did was take something that look, you know my motto, when you don't know what to do, do what you know. And this was one that I had promised. I had on a red scarf. I believe it was around Christmas, around my neck. And I said, oh, do you want to make one of these scarves? They're my little pocket scarves. All right, so now let me show you the other end, because I left it open. So now, see, so I've got this, the collar, you fold it back. Oops, now I'm taking everything because this lace is getting caught. Alright, so now on this end of the scarf, the end that I haven't finished, I was saving for the camera. Alright, you would fold this collar back, just like that. Now, I counted my little, remember the V-stitches? To make it so that I would know, you know, so I can get them the same as close as I can. I think I had 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I had 10 V-stitches, and I kind of lined up the holes a little bit if I could see through there. It didn't have to be perfect, but you just want them to look, you know, you want them to be close as possible. You want it to look nice. This becomes the pocket. But now if I don't put something there, some buttons or something sometimes, you know, you just kind of lose sight of where the pocket is. So first thing I'm going to do, once I fold it back, I'm going to get my strands of fringe. I'm doing 4 strands because I don't want this heavy. I want it to be bouncy and loose, and this is nice. This is not winter yet. This is like, oh, it's just fall. It's just nice to have something on, you know. Alright, so I start, and you may want to line up something. And I'm going to go ahead, and right here, you know how to make your fringe. I'm going to get a bit larger hook. You wrap it over your finger. I'm going to come here, and I'm just going to kind of go up under at least 2 or 3 strands. Don't put it right on one little strand. And I'm going to pull this through and bring it through. There's my first one. Now that's locking the bottom in. See these two pieces right here. See? I'm closing up that opening to make myself a pocket. Here's my fringe again. I'm only using 4 strands. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll take one out. I'm using 4 strands to keep it nice and loose. I double it. Of course, everybody knows how to do fringe. And then I can kind of count or guesstimate. But I'll count the other side. I'm just going to do a little bit. Put my fringe in. Bring it through. Pull it really nice. Let's see how many did I do on this little section. On the button section. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have at least 6 before I go into this end here. So 1, 2. Get 4 more strands. Oh, you're going to love this. You're going to go, Jay, I like this. And then I still got more to share with you and show you how this makes a great gift. So I'm going to just use my crochet hook, go under a bunch of strands, but make sure you're closing up that hole and pull it through. So I had 6 on the other, so 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's see if I can get about the same number in there. Alright, there's 4 more. And of course, I'm going to turn on my fan. I might have to talk up a little bit. I am pouring water. It is so humid here. It was like one of the hottest, and we're sitting here making shawls. Look, we're making... This is an oxymoron. No, this is a catch-22. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's no beginning, there's no end. This is the strangest thing. It must be with the humidity. It's got to be over 100 degrees. But we're so happy. Aren't you happy? I'm so happy that you told me to finish this and I didn't lose it. I just happened to find that bag. There's 4 more. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually I do in, you know. I told you to use it, but I just grabbed this up. You know, so hot I got delirious. You know, usually you do the 2 ends, and then you do the center, and then you can work back and, you know, find the middle. But it's so hot, I think I got delirious. Oh, so now here is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, so I can get rid of that one. Okay, let's make sure you can see what I'm doing now. Yep, you can see just fine. I gotta learn to stop moving the camera around. Okay, so I can squeeze 1 more here on the edge. Because I had 6 on the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be number 6, where I'm closing up that hole. So make sure you pull it and then get it right here on the edge. Now I have 6 to match the other side. Then of course I need to come here. Now that's the end. I need to weave that in. I cut it off and weave it in. I could have put it in with that. I can take that one out and I can pull it in with that if I want to. Alright, so now this is the little section that was left. So I need to put some in here. So we'll do that real quick. I really wasn't thinking about doing this, but I'm thinking, well, I want you to see this. So now, so there's the one on the edge from coming down. So now I'll just move over a little bit, and I'll put one here. Like I say, if you got to play yarn chicken, stop working the top. Go and cut your fringe and start putting all your fringe in place, except for these little sections. You know, put as much in place as you can so that you won't run out. Now there is, okay, how about one right there? I'm just guessing on these right quick just so we can get done, so I can show you the next step. because I need to use up some of my buttons. I have beautiful buttons, people. I've got some really, they're not high-end buttons, but they are very nice. You know, I got a nice collection of buttons. Uh-oh, now I don't want to go into that big hole. I'm going to try to go into up under 2 strands. Now bring that through. Be sure to get all your strands when you come through. Pull it. Now I think I can get one more in that space. Right there. And I've just about used up all the little fringe. See, I just made it. This is all the fringe that I have left. See? So that's why it's better to stop the top, because you're going to turn it back and make a scarf anyway. And make sure you have fringe. Alright, here I go. The last. There we have it. Okay. So now there is the bottom section with my the collar, or my hand warmer section, turned back, and I kind of counted so it matched the other side. Now, in order to keep this in place, this is where the buttons come in. Like I said, I found these buttons in my stash, and I'm thinking, oh man, hey, you need to use these pretty buttons. I'm going to put a button right here on the back side, on the back fabric, so that I can take this loop. There's a little loop there in that chain that when we were crocheting. So that will be great to move that there. And let me just take this little stapler out. Okay, and then I'm going to skip one and then maybe put the next button up here. And all you're going to do is just take a piece of this leftover fringe, a little piece of leftover fringe, and your yarn needle. And I won't take time to do that because I want to get to, well, let's see, I want to make sure that it, alright, let's see. Then you're going to put it on the back section. I'll go ahead and just kind of see if I can put it in place real quick. There's so much fringe going on. Okay, so I bring my needle, I bring my yarn. I like to come from the back to the front a couple of times like this. Just bring your needle up. Make sure you leave a tail, a nice long tail of that fringe. Alright, then go down. You could do this maybe before you put, I don't know. I was so excited, I just couldn't wait. I said, oh, I can't wait. Mainly because I get to use my button. Now it gets a little stiff. I do it twice. I go through the holes twice. If you can get if your hole is large enough, and I have to just wiggle a little bit. But it worked on the other buttons. So with that yarn, it may take a little bit of wiggling. Here it comes. And I go through twice. Go through there. Go under here. May have to wiggle a little bit to get it through the hole. There it goes. Alright, then I can just tie it 2 or 3 times. I'll come back later and weave in all that. I'm just trying to show you. Okay, so now I can go ahead, and I may have to move this one up. I don't think I got it quite in the right. It's probably okay. Okay, so now that goes over that button. Then I won't take time to do this one. I'll just put it up here. Alright, so that forms the place for my hand. See? Just stretch it out. That forms a place. I'll put this button in place, and there is my little pocket on. Now, let me see, can I get everything back in place? Boy, I just tore up everything, didn't I? Okay. So, here we go. This was Project A. Project A has now become Jay's Crochet Lace Pocket Scarf. Jay's Crochet Lace Pocket Scarf. Now, what do you think of that? all from, should I finish it or just forget it? And we all voted to finish it. Have fun. Bye.